Bartenders of Reddit. What is the weirdest thing that you have ever witnessed at your job? Used to have a regular who sold her time on Backpage. She loved our queso, so she always had the guys bring her there. What stuck out was that she always ordered Jägermeister and Diet Coke in the same glass. I once had to kick her out because she got so wasted she was giving a blowjob under one of our tables. When I could clearly see the dick in her mouth, she lies about what she's doing and says she is looking for something. Car plowed into the bar I was working in, coming all the way in, and flipping a pool table on its side. Pinned 3 off-duty Applebee's waitresses against the bar. No one was hurt and the woman who was driving tried to order a drink. Butt-ass naked kid maybe 5 to 6 years old came in. Reactions ranged from WTF to laughter to attempts to help. Kid went straight to this lady. An every night regular. Who turned out to be his mom. Apparently he hid in her car and she was too zonked on various substances to notice. Kid was naked because he had literally nothing to wear. I later learned. And their duplex apartment a few blocks away was a vermin-infested hellhole. Mom was a serious addict. Her kid following her to the bar was the impetus that led to him being taken away and her getting sent to rehab. I learned all this after the fact. But the kid walking naked into the bar was definitely among the most unexpected things I've ever seen. I once witnessed a woman openly fondling herself, dress hiked up, underwear pulled aside in the middle of a not super busy bar. It was very obvious she wanted people to see. The weird part was, after a bar back yelled at her and told to stop or get out, a guy walked up to the bar back and said, "Don't talk to my wife like that." This really happened. A guy who pissed himself sitting on a bar stool and then wanted to fight me when I cut him off and wouldn't serve him a new drink. Honestly. Fight between someone dressed as SpongeBob and someone as an Oompa Loompa. No one was seriously hurt. A pretty dodgy woman came into the pokies room in our venue gambling/slot machine equivalent that we have in Australia and demanded for us to find an outlet for her to plug in her charger for her phone. So we found her a machine near an outlet and left her to her devices. Later one of our staff was waved down by another stressed patron who said that a woman was moaning in the pokies room, went in to find out she'd actually plugged in a vibrator and was going to town on herself in front of everyone. A heavy-set Middle Eastern man was drinking heavy and got very drunk at my bar. When he went to the restroom, his prime rib dinner had arrived. I think he shot up some smack in the stall cause when he came back way drunker. He then cut a long big strip of prime rib, about the size of a thick hot dog. Then while glaring at me, threw his head back and proceeded to swallow it whole like a baby bird would a worm from its mother. It of course got stuck in his throat, choking him, and he passed out and fell on the floor. We cleaned out his air passage and gave him CPR. 10 minutes passed and he was still unconscious when the paramedics arrived. He left with a heartbeat but died later that night in the hospital. I once served Catman a Bloody Mary. Dude had body modifications that were hard not to stare at. He was very friendly. He ordered a blue rare steak and returned it for being overcooked. I told him we can't legally feed you anything more raw than a blue rare steak. He hissed and ordered another drink. Gordon Ramsay walked in, ordered a half-sized margarita, and told me it was perfect after he finished it. He was a peeping gentleman and even bowed and said thank you on the way out. I later learned they were filming an episode of Kitchen Nightmares around the corner and he knew the chef who owned the restaurant where I was bartending. He came in the next night too. I had a convo with peeping Gordon Ramsay 2 days in a row. A lady came in and very casually asked for a pack of Camel Crush and a glass of milk. I asked her if she wanted ice in it as it was a hot Texas summer day. She said no, then went out to the patio to smoke her cigs and drink her milk. Used to bartend at a strip club. So I definitely saw some weird things. The ones that stick out the most include 1. Bartending in VIP and a guy refused to pay the girls for the hours. VIP host, who was also a former fighter, asked the guy to pay. Guy gets belligerent, calls him a slur and spits in the host's face. Host hits him once. KO. Guest comes too. Stands up and spits blood at everyone and is escorted out. Dancers brought the teeth they found to me at the bar. Not sure what I was supposed to do with them. 2. Watched as one unique dancer, who typically communicated via meows, slowly sip her drink as a guest licked and smelled her armpit. 3. Served Dennis Rodman a shot Jägermeister, only for him to walk away from the bar as though he didn't have to pay. Chased him down. And a dancer paid for it instead. Undefined. Not a bartender but work at a place with a bar. This husband and wife sat at the bar when another man came in and demanded the woman get up and move. The husband defended his wife and said they got there first and there were other open chairs at the bar the stranger could sit at. The man proceeded to verbally threaten the couple's lives before pulling out a gun. My manager called the cops and informed the man that the cops would be there in less than a minute because they patrolled the shopping center constantly. So the man ran out the front door and tried to escape on foot, but police saw a man running with a gun in his hands out in public away from a restaurant where a man had just pulled a gun on someone and arrested him. My manager had to go with the police to the police station to identify the man and give a statement. It was the wildest thing that's ever happened to me at work.